Hey, it's Avery. So this week I'm going to talk about a problem that a reader ran into, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how I avoid this problem in the hopes that you can avoid it too. What happened was a reader wrote me, it was weeks ago, maybe even a couple of months ago now, and what happened was she got scammed when working with a client on Upwork. And obviously I was horrified to hear that she had this problem, and so I want to share with you what went down, as I understand it anyways, and some of the things that I do to help prevent that from happening to me so that you can avoid having it happen to you too. So here's what went down. A reader emailed me a few months ago, and what had happened to her was she had found a client on Upwork who she thought was going to be amazing, but then it turned out they were nothing more than a lousy scammer. So here's what went down. When she started working for this client, what she did was she ended up giving them her banking information so that they could pay her directly into her bank account somehow. So now here's where I'm fuzzy on the details, but somehow through doing all this, they ended up causing her a whole lot of hassle, and it became almost like an identity theft type of risk situation. It took her quite a while to clean everything up. So what I want to tell you is what I do to make sure that this doesn't happen to me so that you can do the same thing. So the first thing you gotta know on Upwork, number one of their big rules is that if you're working for a client that you found on Upwork, by their terms of service, you have to get paid through the Upwork platform. So that means you cannot give them your personal banking information and have them direct deposit it into your bank. You can't have them somehow send you a wire transfer or any of that kind of stuff. You must get paid through Upwork's platform. So when I work for Upwork, what I do is I do enter my banking information for Upwork, that company, to know. Upwork only though. Notice I'm not giving my banking info to an individual client. I'm just giving it to Upwork. Upwork's a big company, they're reputable, they're reliable, so I don't have to worry about a huge risk for identity theft or any kind of issue where someone's gonna, pay me and then try to get the money back out of my account later and all that kind of stuff. So that's rule number one. If you're doing work for a client on Upwork, don't give them your personal banking information. There is no reason for them to have it, okay? All you gotta do is fill out your information for Upwork to pay you, not the client. So that means when you log into your Upwork profile, you're gonna enter in your banking information for direct deposit and all that jazz, but at no time does the client you're working for ever have access to that information, and that is so important. Okay, so now you know rule number one. So what's rule number two? Well, rule number two is when you start working for a client off of Upwork, what you're going to be doing is, this might happen, for example, when you cold email people like I do to get my higher paying clients. What you do when you're getting paid by a client that you did not find off Upwork, therefore using, Upwork's platform to get money deposited into your account is now not possible. So once you get to that stage of your business, to get paid, what you do, still do not give a client your bank account information. Under no circumstances should you do that, ever. What you do instead, use PayPal. PayPal is a great service, it's reputable, they've been around a long time, they know what they're doing. So give PayPal your banking information, let PayPal direct deposit your money into your account, but the client never has to have it. So what this means is when you find, holy man, it's windy out today. Anyways, when you find a client that you find off Upwork, you're gonna get them to pay you by PayPal. So the only information you need to give them is your PayPal email. So again, it's harmless. So, let's say my email, I'm making this up, I don't actually use this email, so don't try to reach me at this, but let's say the email I used to set up my PayPal account was avery@hotmail.com. So when I want my client to pay me, I would say, okay, well, you can send the money to avery@hotmail.com via PayPal. Or better still, I'd use PayPal to invoice the client, meaning I'd have to find out from the client what email they used to set up their PayPal account, and then I would simply, through my PayPal dashboard, I would send them an invoice from avery@hotmail.com via PayPal to request the money. They pay it, done deal. So that's what you do, okay guys? So under no circumstances should you ever give a client your banking information. There's no need to do that. If you ever did do that, I would do it with great caution. Much like, sometimes you have an employer, all of us have had jobs, right? You have an employer that pays you by direct deposit, for example, and then they need they need a blank check and all that other jazz to work it out. I personally would not do that to get paid for SEO writing. Personally, I wouldn't do it, because usually the kind of clients you're working for are small businesses. They're not vetted. I have no way of knowing if they're legit or if they're, you know, lying to me. So I personally would not be comfortable with giving them my bank account information. Instead, I would use PayPal when I'm off Upwork. When I am on Upwork, I would let the client pay me through Upwork on Upwork's platform. Okay, so that is what I recommend. Now granted, it's not foolproof. Obviously, as we all know, once in a while we hear, you know, stories about big businesses getting hacked and terrible things like that. So there's still, you know, a chance, albeit I imagine it's pretty minuscule, there's a chance that somebody could hack Upwork or someone could hack PayPal and get your information. But the way I look at it is the odds of that happening are way, way, way smaller than the odds of somebody taking advantage of you by you just giving some random client your banking information. So I personally tend to place my bets on Upwork and PayPal being pretty secure, and I'm happy to provide them with my banking account information, but I would never ever provide an individual client with my banking information. So that's what I recommend to you, and I think if you do that, your odds of running into a problem are really small. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now. As always, please do leave me a comment below this video if you have any questions you want me to answer in a future video. If you found this video through your email because you're subscribed to the Money Machine Inner Circle, you can go ahead and just hit the reply button to that email and let me know your questions. Last but not least, you can also fill out the contact form on my website at www.averybreyer.com. Links below this video. You can use the contact form on my website to get a hold of me too. Send me your questions and I will take note of every single one of them and add them to the list for things to potentially answer in a future video. So I'm gonna go now, guys. Please, 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 whatever you do, take some action this week. Do something. I don't care how busy you are. You can find 5 minutes here and there, worst case scenario. Best case scenario, I'm hoping you can find more time than that, more like 15 minutes, maybe half an hour a day to keep working on your SEO business, finding clients, getting your website ready, getting your Upwork profile ready, whatever it is. I'm sure you've got a list a mile long of things you could potentially be doing. So please do that, and I will see you again next week. Bye.